It's noon here in the WeWork offices of Washington, D.C., and this is news that you can use from CarEdge for, Monday, March 4th with your hosts, me, Ray, and this guy right next to me hasn't been this close to me in, years, Zach. He could actually put his head on my shoulder.
Absolutely, Pops. Happy Monday to everyone. We're going to kick things off first by reminding you today's show. I got to get my name off the screen because we're both together. Today's show, folks, is brought to you by CarEdge, CarEdge.com. If we can help you buy a car, or if we can teach you the things you need to know before you buy a car, go check it out back on CarEdge.com. Yeah, go for it.
We're there if you need us to handle it from soup to nuts, or if you're a DIYer and you like to do it on your own. We'll provide you with all the tools you need to navigate that new car purchase. I'm sorry.
Let's kick the show off, folks. New car inventory, Dad.
Yeah.
The car market reset has...
One guy says, echo for rain. Echo. How are we now, folks? Is that better?
Is that better?
Better? Please say it's better.
Please say it's better. Better?
Well, we'll assume that it is.
Better?
Ray's mic is off.
There we go. Justice says there we go. Okay, sorry, guys. Okay. I fixed it. My apologies. Okay, so here's the deal, gang.
Yes.
You couldn't hear my dad's awesome pitch. New car inventory is up 195% from their all-time low that happened during the COVID pandemic. Dad,
yes.
We just had new photos shared from one of our CarEdge community members of a Jeep dealer having to come up with overflow.
Oh my gosh.
Overflow lots out in the desert, man. Look at all these cars. They are stacking them deep.
And if they're smart, they'd be selling them cheap. Oh my goodness. But there's plenty of room. Look, there's plenty of room. Look, still they've got a way. Oh my God. They can handle another 100 cars there.
So here's the deal, folks. We know, and we've been talking about for a while now, the car market reset. Essentially, inventory is beginning to pile up. That the latest data that we have shows that up nearly 200%. And we have no trend or no sign that says this is going to stop anytime soon. Now, on the other end of the spectrum,
yes,
Car Dealership Guy put out there earlier today on Twitter, there's about 5 million new cars that aren't expected to come back as lease returns into the used car market over the next couple of years. That being said, if new car inventories continue to pile up and incentives and all those things push prices down, they kind of counteract one another. I think we're really on the... They don't?
No. The reason they don't counteract each other is when we had new car shortages, when the 10 to 15 million new cars that were scheduled to be built that weren't built because of chip shortages, well, if you couldn't sell them, then they can't come back as trade-ins. So,
but if you have more new car inventory, which is the whole big story of today, you've got more new car inventory.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to. You're not going to get the normal number of 21s, 22s, 23s as trade-ins because they didn't exist. They weren't purchased.
So let's
So that shortage will continue. Now, one of the things that one bright spot, if I may, for the first and second quarters of this year are the fact that there's supposed to be about 1.5 million lease returns through the first 2 quarters of this year. And then the number of lease returns falls off a cliff after that. And then that shortage will continue to be exacerbated probably throughout the decade.
But if you have new car inventory levels that are increasing materially, which they are, that should be a new option for folks who would have otherwise maybe had lease returns as used cars, as vehicles they'd be interested in buying. So you're going to continue to have a new car surplus and used car shortage. At least that's what it seems like to me. That's what the foreseeable future is. I will pull up. You go for it, Dad.
Yes, me.
This is the chart that you were talking about, right? Estimated lease returns are expected to be down 5.5 million units through 2026. So those are all those new cars that hadn't been produced. So that's on the used car side of things. But the bright spot here is the fact that you actually have new car inventories up 200% since the pandemic. That's creating a reprieve for a lot of people.
So you'll have new cars that you can buy, and until that increase in new car inventory represents a greater percentage of vehicles that are being offered for sale that are $30,000 and below, that increase in new car inventory won't matter for the folks that could only afford to buy a pre-owned car. So that's the dilemma. We know that less than 10% of all cars being offered for sale have an MSRP of $30,000 or less. That means 90% are well above 30,000 to sky's the limit.
Yep.
Lease returns, if, and I don't know if this will be the case, but my suspicion is that as the pre-owned car shortage continues for younger pre-owned cars, that I would think any of those 1.5 million lease returns that are leases that are coming due in the first 2 quarters of this year, that those people should probably have equity in those vehicles. So will they turn them into the dealers, or will they buy them themselves? Now, the one thing that dealers will have in their favor to get them to get a new car is that the manufacturers are committing to wanting to support leasing a lot more strongly now than they had been. So perhaps they can make a compelling enough case to take the people out of those 3-year-old cars and put them into a brand new car at the same payment they were at. If they can do that, then they can probably get those lease returns. If the payment's $100, $150, $200 a month higher, those people are going to buy their leases.
So we're walking into a market where you have a used or continued used car shortage, is what you expect.
Yes.
And a new car surplus.
Yes.
How does that work? Because we just got out of a market where you had a new car shortage and a used car shortage.
Yeah.
Right? That's what happened.
Yes.
Or maybe we didn't have as much of a used car shortage. I guess we did.
No, we had a used car shortage. That's why the prices were so damn high. We had a used car shortage with a severe new car shortage. Now there is no new car shortage for the most part, but there's still a used car shortage for the younger, lower mileage used cars. And so those used cars are always going to continue to bring the most money. They're going to retain the highest percentage of their original value.
Yeah.
Because
of this chart, because there's a I mean,
well,
this chart and some others, but like there's just a shortage of those cars that were produced.
Because of the fact that only 10% of all new cars that are being offered out there are under $30,000. So it would bode better for people if, with that 195% increase in new car inventory, if the major portion of that inventory increase was in lower priced vehicles.
Yeah, but we know it's not, because we know that the new cars that were produced during the shortage were the higher content, more expensive vehicles.
So my suspicion is that manufacturers are going to have to adjust production schedules to be amenable to producing more of the lower priced vehicles. Something along the lines of what Chevrolet has done with Trax. They have made a commitment to have enough new Chevy Trax on hand, which is their entry level alternative for people. We need more manufacturers to do that, so that the number of cars between $20,000 and $30,000 MSRP that are being offered, that number has to grow to somewhere between 20 to 25% of all the vehicles that are out there. Right now it's 10. So we need the manufacturers to make a real effort to commit to producing more lower priced vehicles and give up some of their profit that they would normally have. But because, well, the market's saturated on the higher priced, overpriced vehicles.
Do you think we're going to continue to see automakers keep their production schedules where they are? Because again, new car inventories are a huge driver in this, and they are so far oversupplying their dealers. Again, we could jump back to the photos I shared at the beginning of the show, but like they're oversupplying their dealers. And Dad, we got an actual update from our Toyota dealer partner, Toyotas. You can now buy them through CarEdge.com. That Toyota, that dealer, actually, they didn't get 90 cars in their allocation. They got 128. It was even more than they thought. So it's even better. So it's like we are seeing across all brands a return to normalcy in terms of inventory levels. Do you think do you think do the OEMs have any incentive to slow this train down? To say, okay, we're overproducing new cars. That's not a good thing for us or for the industry, or are they just going to keep pumping them out?
Well, they found out during the COVID that they could produce fewer cars and they could have record profits. But that's because they only produced the high price stuff. Dealers, because there was a shortage of cars, were able to overcharge for the cars that they were selling. All those people that they took advantage of are, well, out of the market for quite some time. And yet, all the manufacturers have kind of ramped up production higher than where they said they wanted to be.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep available on-hand inventory on a monthly basis, new vehicles at around 2.4 million. We're up to about 2.7 million and climbing. We're still well below the 3.5 to 4 million that it was pre-COVID. But I don't think we'll see any major cutbacks in production until that number tops 3 million.
We got a ways to go. We'll get the latest data soon, but it's not going to be at 3 million for at the earliest, maybe 6 months from now at the earliest.
Well, it depends on
how slow the sales are.
And the stats we've seen so far is they indicate that February was up.
Yeah.
And I think when you say February was up, it's been very regionalized. There are some parts of the country where dealers have complained that it's been very slow. There are other parts of the country where dealers have had record sales. But overall, sales in February were up. We haven't seen what the fleet numbers portion of that is, so that we can determine whether it's real retail sales from an average customer or if it's the fleet business that's still propping up automotive. They've always been good at manufacturing, and they've always manufactured as many as they could.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Dad, let's turn our attention to some of those sales numbers. I'll pull them up on the screen. Dad, I want to touch first on Toyota. Toyota said it ended February with 229,565,000 vehicles in U.S. inventory, or a 31-day supply, with 127,385 cars and light trucks in dealer stock, and 102,181 at ports or in transit to their stores. A year ago, the U.S. stockpile was 134,000 light vehicles.
100,000 vehicles more.
100,000 more new Toyotas on the ground in this country than there were a year ago. That is great news. Again,
for Toyota buyers.
Absolutely for Toyota buyers.
And should help to bring the average transaction price of a Toyota down.
Yeah, absolutely. Friendly reminder to everyone.
Yes.
Buy that next Toyota on CarEdge.com through CarEdge, especially now that we have more of a dealer network growing and there's inventory. It means we have more pricing power with the dealers. Ford had a banner February, and I can't reconcile how they did it. I really can't, because F-Series sales were down, which is an interesting dynamic here. But Ford sales were up 9.6% for the month of February. Sales of utility vehicles were up 24%. So I guess that's their commercial. Hybrids were up 32%. We're really starting to see now the automakers who have doubled down on hybrids be the ones that are in a strong position. They beat out Toyota in terms of total sales, but the F-Series was down 5.8%. This, to me, though, is a continued story of full-size pickup trucks that are too expensive, because the F-Series nationwide right now, folks, has 1.9% financing for 72 months.
That's pretty cheap.
Yes, and sales were still down 6% year over year.
That's got to be a tad bit disturbing.
I mean, that's got to tell you everything you need to know. And then it's not just Ford, right? Like, we've got here, where was it? From Steve.
Yes.
I'm looking at a high-end Ram 1500. The sticker is $87,595, and they want $66,572. We just know that these truck prices have gotten insane. The truck inventory,
$21,000 off. That's more than 20%.
And I know that's a Ram and not a Ford, but Ram and Ford and General Motors are on the same boat here.
Yeah.
They can't keep, like, we're going to go into the Ford numbers again. They can't keep Mavericks on the lot.
What's that, like 22, 23% off?
But they also can't sell these boat anchors, which are their big, expensive full-size pickups. So I thought that was super interesting to see. Toyota inventory is really, really, really skyrocketing.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yes.
And then F-Series pickup truck sales are going down. Are absolutely going down. Do you agree with my hypothesis here?
That's their bread and butter. Last time I checked,
yeah, 100%.
Isn't that the number one selling vehicle in America?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, so how do you suggest it's anything other than people are fed up? Because 1.9% financing on a $70,000 pickup truck for 72 months is insanity. I mean, the amount of subsidization there from the OEM is huge.
Ford's paying a
poop ton,
a metric poop ton. Which I think is bigger than a regular poop ton. They have to spend a lot of money. Their costs for incentives have gone up dramatically over the last several months and will continue to go up because that's what it's going to take to move vehicles.
I was shocked though when I saw it because I'm going to harp on this again. 1.9% on a $70,000 let me get the loan calculator up. Let's loan interest calculator car. Let me do this. All right, let's all do it together.
We're all doing this together, ladies.
Yeah, Dad. Ford F-Series pickup truck sales down 6% year over year. Average transaction price for an F-Series is over $60,000, but let's say it's 65.
Okay,
you're buying a $65,000 for 72 months.
Yeah,
we know the average. What was the average new car loan from Cox?
9.75.
It's like 9.75.
Yeah,
is the average new car interest rate right now? No cash incentives. We'll say we're not doing a down payment. Let's not do California because they got crazy taxes. Arizona also does too. Let's go. We're in Georgia. Great. Whatever, we'll just leave the sales tax, title, whatever. We're just going to leave all the fees. The purpose of this is the amount of interest I'm paying on that is $21,112 if I'm paying right now to buy a $65,000 Ford F-Series for 72-month finance on the average term. The OEM is subsidizing that down to that's $17,000 in savings in interest over the term of the loan. That is insane. And yet sales were still down 6%.
Yeah, because
that's not good.
And maybe because even at 72 months, the people couldn't afford a $955 payment.
Oh yeah, let's what did that do to payment? So it's $955 payment. We had 9.75. That's $200 a month.
Yeah, more than. Yeah.
That the OEM.
That's $240 a month.
That Ford is underwriting. And again, volume dropped 5.8%. That Ford incentive.
Maybe because. Yeah. People can't afford a $950 a month payment. Maybe. That's what it says to me. Because they sure couldn't afford the $1,196 payment.
It means they're going to have to dig even more in their wallet. But Dad, $17,000 over a 72-month loan is a huge incentive.
Maybe they're going to have to adjust what it is that they build so that the average transaction price can come down to $60,000 or $57,500 because suddenly there's more $40,000 and $50,000 trucks than there are $80,000 and $90,000 trucks. Maybe at that point, F-150 sales would go up again.
I got to tell you, flipping over to GM versus Ram for a second here, we've helped many customers that are thinking about a Ram 1500 who ultimately look at a Chevy Colorado instead because they're I can't justify moving into the 1500 or a full size. I'm going to actually size down and look at something different. And you see that I think in the Ford lineup too. Maverick sales are up significantly.
Yes.
Record Maverick sales and F-150 sales are going down. So I think people are reassessing, do I need full size? And can I drop into something smaller?
I think as payments continue to go up, fewer and fewer people will say they need the full size. They'll say they want the full size But you know what? I can get by with the smaller pickup.
Yeah,
truck.
I think you're absolutely seeing that.
Yeah.
The Ford numbers, I think, exemplify that perfectly.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, man. All right, which way you want to go? You want to go the repo route? You want to go the hard to get approved for an auto loan route? Which way you feeling,
Hey,
Pops?
it's your show, buddy. I'm just here waiting on a train.
All right, we'll turn our attention over to the fact that repos, while they should be sky high through the roof, the industry is struggling to keep up. Lower prices, rising repo costs contribute to falling recoveries. Recoveries, that's the number of vehicles that are in repossession that are actually recovered, 45.7%.
Yeah.
The lowest we have, this data goes all the way back to 2017. You can see, Dad, the lowest rate of recovery for auto repos that we've had since 2017 in the industry right now, in part because it costs so much money to repo a damn car because there's a shortage of repo drivers. The exact same time, Dad, we have this from Bloomberg. Car loans haven't been this hard to get since August of 2020. Even consumers with healthy finances are struggling to get approval as lenders tighten their standards. You have a bit of a financial reset going on right now. And at the crux of this are tightening lending standards and not enough repo drivers to pick up all the cars that people have gone delinquent on.
Yeah, for the cars that they lent money to people when they had loosened their lending standards. So now they're forced to tighten their lending standards. Yeah, it's harder and harder to qualify for a loan today, good credit or bad credit. It's, let me take that back. It's probably harder to qualify with good credit today than it is with bad credit today, because those subprime lenders are, that's their specialty.
Yeah.
They always know that there's going to be a higher percentage of their customers that are going to default, which is why they charge the rates that they charge so that they can afford to cover those losses. So the tightening credit would probably be more towards people with good credit, who, until they go bad and start to qualify for subprime.
Yeah.
It's like a vicious circle. But I think I could still qualify for a car loan.
I hope so too, man. It is a bit of a vicious cycle.
And if I can't, that Vespa's looking
better by the day.
Yeah.
All right, Dad, want to give Spencer a quick shout out. Spencer says, I'm sorry I'm late. I submitted the photos at the beginning of the show. Yes, you did, Spencer. Thank you so much. Thank you. Zach is my email, zach@caredge.com. Send photos, send videos. If you have questions, if you don't understand what CarEdge is or how we help people, you can just email me directly, Zach, zach@caredge.com. And also, if you have a shout out that you want to do, every once in a while, we do shout outs on the show as well. Please don't make them advertisements, like birthdays and things like that. We are happy to share that with everyone.
Yeah.
Dad, we had this come in from John. Zach, I thought you said new Stellantis incentives would be out today. Yes, we are currently compiling all the new monthly programs. So yeah, we're working on that right now, but I will flash up on the screen. This was an email I got earlier today. Here are some of the programs that are going on right now. You want a Jeep Compass for $189 a month?
For just 27 months with $4,000 cash or trade equity down. Lease includes 10,000 miles per year, first payment, taxes, title, and $6.99 doc fee due at signing.
These are going to be some of the big programs that you see pushed nationally and also regionally.
Payments include a $2,000 lease loyalty rebate, and not all customers will qualify for that.
Exactly, yeah.
But here's the key. If you did qualify for that rebate, that's $3,999 plus the first payment of $189, plus the taxes that are due, plus the title, plus the doc fee. So when everything is all said and done, that is probably somewhere in excess of $5,000 that you're going to need to put down. And obviously, if you're a new customer, well, you're not going to qualify for the lease loyalty rebate.
There you go. All right. So we'll keep working on compiling those offers. You know that's how they do the TV commercials, man. It's all like payment.
Absolutely.
So I'm just sharing with everyone what the TV commercials are going to be.
I used to deal with that every day. You know, Mini used to have some special lease programs, and they were on the base hardtop that no dealers had, and required $3,999 cash down plus tax, title, license, and doc fee. Well, in the state of Maryland, you pay all the sales tax up front on a lease. So, that $4,000 became $6,000 in a heartbeat. And you had to try to explain that to people.
Yeah.
And it's not what people want to hear.
Again, you're going to see all sorts of advertisements and promotions from the automakers this month on TV. And these are some of the ones that we've been made aware of that they're going to be pushing. So again, which shouldn't be any surprise. Compass, we know there's a huge surplus of Compass inventory, but the list goes on and on. So we expect, and we will continue to compile the big programs for this month, and then Pops will poke holes in why they're not actually as good as they should be.
That's a great deal. It's just when you get to the full disclosure that you have to pull out that shock machine, to bring your customer back to life. I've seen it happen 1,000 times.
I believe it.
The payment's only $189 a month. Really? Yeah. Well, sorta. it is. Assuming that you have lease loyalty from Stellantis.
Yeah.
Okay. Assuming that you have $4,000 in cash or trade equity that you didn't know what to do with. Oh, and also, you kind of come up with your title, your tax, your registration, your doc fee. We're not. Yeah.
I will show you this one, folks, because it is going to put, give my dad a laugh here. The Hornet, Dad.
Not the Hornet.
The Hornet has a $4,500 Conquest rebate right now. So there you go. $4,500 Conquest rebate. You just got to own another car.
You own or lease a competitive make vehicle. Not all customers will qualify.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you just own a car, they're going to give you that $4,500.
So here's the deal. Can I do my best radio voice for the Dodge Hornet? You too can lease your 2024 Dodge Hornet RT Plus all-wheel drive. Example, stock number 3276. Lease for only $229 for 24 months with just $3,689 cash trade equity down. Lease includes 10,000 miles a year. First payment, tax, title, license, and doc fee due at signing. Payments include $4,500 Conquest rebate that not everybody's going to qualify for. Hurry!
You're welcome, Stellantis. We're trying our best. We're trying our best.
If I would have read it once, I probably wouldn't have made any mistakes.
Welcome to growing inventories and radio reads that are going to be all over the airwaves. Let's go to our favorite segment.
Really?
Up the show.
You got to be kidding me.
All right, Pops, let me pull this up on the screen. We had covered last week.
Yes.
The first Tesla Cybertruck made it to the wholesale auctions. And everyone and their brother knows what it was purchased for, $244,000. What do you make of the Porsche dealer that purchased it, Dad, asking $290,000? That'd be a pretty, how much recon do you think they had to do on that? That'd be a pretty sweet profit.
Well, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't know how to do any of the recon on it if it needed recon. And it shouldn't need any recon. It only had like 300 miles or something.
Yep.
You might have to look out for them orange spots that start to show up on the stainless steel that they say they swear Tesla swears is not rust. I don't know what it is, but it's, what do I make of it? How are you going to get somebody to pay $290,000 for it when they know you paid $244,000? And I know as the Porsche dealer, you're going to sit there and go, well, where else are you buying it? And some fool and his money will soon be parted because that fool's going to go, you're right, and I want it, and I can afford it, and I'm going to buy it.
I'm shocked by this.
But what amazed me is, what is it? Give me your VIN?
Give me the VIN, yeah.
Give me the VIN. They're the ones that actually bought it privately, and they bought it for $210,000.
Wow.
And they didn't really think that they'd make any real money on it at the auction. So nobody was happier than they were when that bid went up to $244,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they bought it for $210,000. They had to register at the sale. Maybe there's $1,500 between transportation and registration. So say they had $212,000 tied up in it and they got 244. What's that math? They made 32 grand when they really, they thought maybe we'll break even and we'll make a couple thousand.
I do think it's shocking that the dealership everyone knows how much they paid for it.
Everybody knows. It's not like you can go to that dealership and say, "Hey, could you share with me what you paid for it?" You even walk in with the headline.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So I know you paid 244. What if I gave you? Come on, we'll let you make 10 grand. Sell it to me for $254,000.
That's not a bad idea.
And they're going to go, well, that's not really, because there was the transportation and the buy fees and this and that. 285 is as cheap as
expensive buy fees. It is sort of interesting. People always want to know, what do dealers pay at the auction to buy a car? Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your chance.
In this particular case, everybody in the world knows. And the reality is that somebody will pay close to that 290,000.
I'm sure they'll sell it.
Only because, what are you going to get in a wait list?
No, I'm sure they'll sell it.
At Tesla to get one. I mean, allegedly, nobody knows for sure, but allegedly there's like 1 million people on the wait list. That's the same 150,000 that were waiting on the Lightning or on the Cybertruck wait list. Okay, and we all know how that worked out for the Lightning. So. Yeah, and it shouldn't, at least in my mind, it shouldn't take long for the shine to wear off this whole thing.
Yeah, but we're still seeing it. I should mention, we're still seeing it on like Ford Raptor R's.
Yeah,
I was trying to help a customer out over the weekend, and we were hitting up all the dealers we know. You can't get your hands on them. If you can, other dealers are charging you 20 grand, 25 grand over them. So you still see a lot of this craziness.
And when we were at the Rouge plant,
that's all they were making.
Yeah, it was like everything that was parked outside was a Raptor.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll keep our eyes posted on that Porsche dealership and see what they do. From Taker, thank you, Taker, for the contribution. Do you guys think the Ram Charger will be a hit? Do I even know? I don't even know what the Ram Charger is. Is that the EV?
Why not? It's made by Stellantis. It's just, I don't know what it is. So
what's the Ram Charger?
Well, Google it, buddy. We got the Google machine right here.
Yeah, we do.
Let's do this for everybody to see. I think it was one word, but yeah.
Oh, they're coming back with like an SUV?
The Ram Charger electric vehicle.
Wait a second.
Do I think it'll be a hit?
Oh, this is their EV.
That's what I just said.
Oh, okay. Well, see, the Ram Charger used to be.
Well, I know what the Ram Charger used to be.
Let's see.
Do I think that'll be a hit?
No.
Why would it be?
We haven't seen a single electric pickup.
The only electric pickup that seems to be a hit, it would be the Cybertruck that they've produced.
Yeah, like 12 very few of. Yeah. They produced more than 12, but still, like less than 1,000.
I have no idea. You just have to know somebody who knows somebody who can get you one.
Yeah,
but no, it's a Dodge product. Why? Well, come on,
come on.
It's going to be a hit. No. Well, electric pickup truck so far ain't a hit. Okay, is the Ford Lightning a hit? No. Is the Hummer really a hit? No. None of these things are hits. If this was baseball and they were
where are you going with this?
They were batting 300. Yeah, then that would be considered a hit. But they ain't batting 300 with this.
All right, folks, CarEdge.com. That is our company. Good to have Dad here at the office. If you do me a favor,
may I say, and that's today and today only, folks. So don't get used to this. Today and today only. Dad in the office. It's take your dad to office day. And Dad's about to get on a train to head back to the Jersey Shore where he belongs.
I was simply going to call out resources. All the free stuff that we've built over the past 4 years is right there. So please, we got a business to run. We've got an awesome team behind the scenes, but all the free stuff is under resources. Please just go to CarEdge.com under resources or Google search something space CarEdge and our various free resources.
And to get that, The only thing that is required is that you set up an account.
A lot of stuff you don't even need to set up an account. Yeah.
But if you needed to set up an account, you would need
an email,
an email address, and a password.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
We don't want your phone number.
No phone. Well, unless you want to do something, then you get it. There's
at that point we might want your phone number, but just to have an account.
Just have an account.
No phone number.
No phone number. Are
we going to follow up with these people?
I mean, hopefully.
We've proven conclusively we don't.
Yeah, we read the comments. We know when people don't hear back from our team. We're working on it.
When I was at the dealership and a customer would say to me, she said, "Well, I don't want to give your salesperson my phone number." I said, "Why is that?" She said, "Well, I don't want them following up with me." I said, well, "I can assure you, they won't. They don't." I see the stats every damn day. These people are phone call adverse. Okay, they will not pick up the phone. They will not hound you. They will not call you. They will not email you. And then you're going to say, "Well, I would have come back and bought a car if somebody would have followed up with me." And I'm going to look at my sales staff and say, "See, there's another one you could have had."
That is so funny.
Oh, God.
Anyway, we'll try and follow up with you if you want us to follow up.
Yes, if you don't, we won't.
All right, folks. Thank you for being here, Pops.
My pleasure.
Trains at 2, so we'll get you over to the station soon. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back. We'll be talking about something or another. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of our community, spending time with your with us today.
I can't wait to actually be in the kitchen that I'm supposedly sitting in front of at the moment, but I'll be back there tonight.
He slept great in our guest room 2 nights in a row.
I did.
So I'm happy about that. I was nervous about how
I don't know what they fed me yesterday, but my God, I went to bed at 8:15. 8:15.
And you woke up when?
7:30 this morning.
That's a nice sleep, man.
Well, I did get up twice to pee, but that doesn't count.
That happens.
Yeah, because I can pee with my eyes closed.
Goodbye, everyone.